from humble beginnings. To growth and evolving. And the arrival. This is First GenXers.
Poetic beats.
All right, let me say hello, 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 hello. What's up to everybody out there? This is the one and only Dark Lord 100, aka Double KK Double. The man to the, well, for you left of me is the one and only Agent K28, aka the Saint. And we are here, even though we are down one for right now, we will be bringing him in later. Well, actually, we got about two more hosts as well that will be helping us do this weekly thing here on Twitch TV. Well, say so, but for this week, you get the one and only, the two authors, the two anchors, the two guys that kind of kicked this all off in Dark Lord 100 and Agent K28. What's up, bro?
Absolutely. What's good with it, Planet Earth? Y'all already know me. This is Agent K28, aka the Saint, and I'm also the host of NVT Deuce, which is coming up later on. And this is our this is our nerd thing. This is how we deal with video games, wrestling, comics, but on a Gen Xers type of feel. You know what I'm saying? So this is gonna be a little different. There are a lot of different aspects to this particular podcast, to this particular show, but I guarantee you, you guys are gonna love it because we get real with this shit, and we talk our stuff. We definitely talk our shit. So, that's what's up.
100%, 100%. We are here. We are real. Just get used to it. All right, so as y'all know, this took place a couple of weeks ago, but it was a huge event, and we even did a little pre-episode one episode where we talked kind of general feelings about WrestleMania. But this time today, we are going to be talking about WrestleMania 40, and we are going to be talking the whole card, the whole shoot and shaboodle, the whole kick and kabang, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be talking all of it. So we're going to start out with a little bit of night one. Let's see, hold on. Let me pull up something else that I need here real quick.
Yeah.
All right, and we're going to be talking night one of WrestleMania, a night that kicked off with Rhea Ripley beating the snot out of out of Becky Lynch, and then was proceeded to be followed by six amazing matches, finishing with the tag team match between the Bloodline and Rhodes and Rollins. We are going to get to our thoughts on all of those right now. So this is day one at WrestleMania. Let's see. Yeah, it opened up with Rhea Ripley, who at that point had the to me the best intro of the night, because as much as I liked Becky Lynch's, it just did not
Oh,
compare
hang
to.
on, hang on a second. Welcome in the building, Saint Michael, the Archangel. One, good afternoon. Definitely one, definitely appreciation. The first listener. This is a new podcast, so make sure you tap in. And I want to try to make sure that we get everybody tapped in because this is good conversation.
For sure.
Don't
Uh,
mean I didn't mean to interrupt,
yeah,
bro,
yeah.
but I
Uh,
seen him. I seen him.
what I was gonna say was that well, no, what I was saying was that we kicked off with Rhea Ripley. Like I said, I gave her at that moment. Now, mind you, we're talking about at that moment. I gave her the props for what it was, what I called the intro of the night. She had the best intro of the night, and man, the match didn't disappoint. The match didn't disappoint at all.
Yeah,
You know,
that particular match was just like it was well executed. There were maybe there might have got it kind of started kind of soft, you know what I'm saying? But eventually it just built up into like ooh and damn and oh what the hell. And it was really, really good. So I kind of figured, yeah, I definitely give that one a 9 for me. That one for me is about a 9. But it was really a good match. Okay.
I mute my mic so that way we don't get any feedback. But sorry, yes, no. I said what I said is with Rhea Ripley, it's you get the whole package. You get the theatrics, and you get
Right.
the good wrestling in ring. She's an amazing performer, like all the way around. And that match was a great hot way to open up WrestleMania Day One. The match that followed it though was just a banger. We saw that the Judgment Day was defending the tag team titles in a ladder match, in a 6-team ladder match. But they announced like a week before it was over, or a week before it happened, they announced that the belts would be split and the belts would be hung separately up there, and whichever team got to the one first would take that one, and the other one they got, and if a different team got to the other one. Now, it didn't prevent, like, for instance, going over the results, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller initially won the first SmackDown tag team titles. They still had a chance to stay in the match and win the Raw tag team titles and keep them together, but unfortunately they didn't achieve that. So the
That's
winners
true.
were a down, or
Hey,
sorry, a town down under Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and Awesome Truth, which is my favorite
yeah.
tag team of all
Okay.
time,
Let let's
winning the
let's
Raw
let
tag team titles.
okay, let's just get over this. First of all, I really do not like Austin Theory.
Yeah.
I have not really liked this motherfucker since he got into the W because he was supposed to be that he's supposed to be in what Roman Reigns is supposed to be. And I'm like, no, I'm not dealing it with this guy. Hell to the no. That is just not. And Grayson Waller, like it's whatever for me, bro. But I definitely love Awesome Truth. Okay. The Miz, you already know that he's been doing this for a very, very long time. And of course, our truth, aka, little Jimmy, you know, his shit, he's just been to me the biggest cheerleader for WWE. He has remained loyal, and no matter what he has been gone through, even through all of the 50 plus, title changes with the 24/7, I really like the way he's doing, he's just doing his thing. And I really love that Awesome Truth is together. I mean,
Like,
no cap.
oh, 100%. Like our truth is the reason. Like no offense to the Miz, I like the Miz as well, but awesome truth. Our truth is the reason why I'm glad that that WrestleMania moment happened.
Yeah.
Like getting to see him get that moment was so deserving, was so deserving. Like, and
Right.
don't get me wrong, I like the Miz, especially. I've always liked them when they were Awesome Truth. I do like them better when they're heels than I do as faces, but I can deal with them as either. Um, well, I'll say, but when it all boils down to it, those two together to come back together all these years later and finally get the title run with Awesome Truth that they never got back in the day. You know, even though
Right.
they were main eventing pay per views against The Rock and John Cena, you know, they never got
Exactly.
the respect that they deserved. And so, yeah, let me just say I'm happy. Bravo. Bravo on the match
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
bravo on the title win for sure. All right, so moving forward, we have what was a grudge match between Rey Mysterio and Andrade taking on Dirty Dom and Santos Escobar. Now, originally, a lot of people thought that maybe Andrade was going to turn on Rey Mysterio during this, but none of that ever happened. It was a hell of a match, but the biggest thing that came out of this match was the fact that the right tackle and left tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles came down in luchador mask to help Rey Mysterio and Andrade win this match.
Yeah. You know, to me, that particular night to me was probably, and I mean, not to downplay, not to downplay WrestleMania 40 for that one, but to me, that WrestleMania moment,
Oh, it wasn't.
yeah,
It
that
wasn't like
one
one of
was,
the top. Like I wouldn't even give it top
yeah,
50 WrestleMania moments of all
yeah,
time.
yeah, that one. I mean, it was no, don't get me wrong, it was really a good, kick. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? But then you find out exactly who it is, and then you're like, okay, I'll let that one slide.
yeah,
You know, I'll let that one slide.
yeah, yeah. I feel you. I feel you. And okay, so I'm glad that we got a chance to talk about this match now. Okay, the next match coming up was brother versus brother, and I kind of have a lot to say about this match because here's the thing about it. Was it the best wrestling match I've ever seen? Was it Steamboat versus Macho Man? Was it Bret Hart versus Owen Hart at WrestleMania? Was it Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy at WrestleMania? Nah, it wasn't that. But I think it was more story driven than any of those previous brother versus brother matches, with an exception for Undertaker versus Kane. That was
Right.
the other one that was primarily story driven. I think that this one, although the match was not a classic, it wasn't a banger. It wasn't one that I'm going to show at a wrestling school to teach people how to wrestle. But it was a good match for the story that needed to be told. Like it was a great match for the story that needed to be told.
Damn, bro. It's like, okay, for me, it was really going, but come on, y'all. The weak brother versus strong brother angle, man, get the fuck out of here, man. That that to me, that was probably like, it was kind of meh. I mean, because you already knew he was getting ready to turn on him, like he was still playing the weak villain. And I was just like, no, no,
No,
no, no.
I,
But it was still no, but it was still a good quality match.
yeah,
But
that's what
geez,
that's
man.
what I keep trying to tell people. Like I'm not trying to say it was a bad match, not by any stretch of the imagination. Like it wasn't a bad match, but was it, like I said, was it a great technical wrestling match? No, but it was a good match, and this is why I don't understand a lot of the hate that this match is getting. Like I think from Dave Meltzer, they got like 3/4 of a star. Not that his ratings matter for anything at all, but like it got like 3/4 of a star, and I'm like it wasn't that bad. It's not like they were out there stumbling over each other. Like, but I guess that there were a lot of people out there that agreed with Dave Meltzer in the fact of saying that it just wasn't a good match. Whereas I disagreed. From my personal perspective, the match achieved its goal. It told the story it needed to tell, and the
I
right
mean, but
person came out the victor.
yeah, I get that, but like I said, I would have felt I thought honestly, I thought if it would have went over better if Jimmy had a won the match.
I don't know, Jay. Okay, if you, it depends. Like to me, the role of the story was to elevate Jay. Was to elevate Jay to main event status. So in that regards, I feel it had to be Jay to win. I think a nice swerve, if you wanted to extend this feud beyond WrestleMania, would have been for Jimmy to get the win. And then Jay faces him again at Backlash, and then they have the rubber match, the final match at SummerSlam. Like, I
Right.
think that would, I agree with you if that's what they're doing. If this is not going to continue past WrestleMania, then the right person won. Because at the end of the day, Jay is the one that needs to come out on top of this feud to elevate him to the level where he's at now, where Jay is the one scheduled to face um, Damian Priest at the Backlash pay per view for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Right, right.
So I don't see him winning only because I don't see them necessarily uh, taking the strap off of Damian Priest that quickly. Like I believe Damian Priest deserves to hold that title for at least a good 4 or 5 months. Maybe SummerSlam he drops it. We'll see. Or who knows? Maybe he goes on 1,400-day run and beats Roman Reigns' record. Um,
Yeah, I'm looking at you like,
all right. So the match that followed that one, which was center of the card, was a match that again technically wasn't the best match ever. Wasn't even close. Wasn't even top 150. But it was a good match, and it got over the people it needed to get over, which was Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi. They faced off against
now,
Damage Control. Why they stuck the tag team champions in this match instead of making them defend the titles at WrestleMania? Beyond me, but I'm not a booker, so I don't act like I know. Um, but yeah, so like we got Jade getting her first win alongside Bianca instead of facing Bianca, which is what everybody thought was going to happen when they signed her, was that she was going to end up facing Bianca at WrestleMania. Instead, she ends up getting a victory with her at WrestleMania. So your thoughts, sir?
okay. Now, and I'm going to be looking at this like the heel commentaries because obviously that's just what it is. But no, on some serious shit. I loved that match. Okay. Um Naomi was really in fine form. Jade Cargill was definitely like, man, it was the business with her. And of course, Bianca, she's still the EST. However, I would have liked I would have liked a good WrestleMania moment that maybe somebody might have turned on somebody just so that we can get we can get into the fray of this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I would have loved to for Jay Cargill to do a heel turn on Bianca Belair, and we get ready to start. We get ready to start the shit running, and then at some point, Jay Cargill, probably gets the belt, or from Bianca Belair, or interference in a match, you know, something like that. I really think that. Okay. 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 Okay, I could probably see that.
Sorry. Yeah, but so I think that they're going to put the straps on Jade Cargill and them first, and then you're going to see the heel turn for one of them at like SummerSlam, leading into Royal Rumble and then a match at WrestleMania.
Right.
So I think that the reason why they're doing this is because I believe, like it was said a while ago, that Jade Cargill is still very green in the ring. She came from AEW, still very green in the ring, and not at the level that WWE wants to have her out there, main eventing pay per views and like that. So what they're going to do is they're going to put her with Bianca Belair, who can carry her. You know what I'm saying, and still have her come off looking good while she's still learning, and then when
Yeah.
it's all over, when they feel she's ready, she'll make the heel turn, or Jay or Bianca will, and they'll go head to head.
Yeah, because I think because I mean, wasn't Bianca a heel? Wasn't Bianca a heel when she was in NXT?
Wasn't she a heel? No, I don't think Bianca's ever really been a heel. Not a true sense. She's always had that black girl magic attitude, but I don't know if
Right.
she's ever actually been a heel per se.
Okay. Okay. I can I can rock with that.
Okay.
I can
All right.
definitely rock with that.
So,
All right.
all right. So the next match would be considered the biggest victory of the evening. This match made people cry, made people feel happy. This crowd went off. The presentation of this match was beautiful and amazing. And it's the one and only Intercontinental title match between Sami Zayn and
Oh,
Gunther. Now, when we're
okay.
talking about classic matches, story being told matches, this one falls into that top tier category. Um, there's a lot of people, and I agree with them, that say that it should have been Chad Gable that got that WrestleMania moment, not Sami Zayn. No argument here. I think either one of them made for a
No
great
lies
moment.
told.
Yeah.
No lies
Uh,
told. I
but at
mean,
the end of the day, Sammy got that moment, and I'll tell you, there's one moment that kind of blew me back that when watching it, and that's when they were following Sammy from being with his wife and his daughter to walking through, getting like the pumped up thing from Chad Gable, or getting the pep talk from Chad Gable, and then getting a pep talk from Kevin Owens. That's not the part that got me. That was bone shivering, nice and fun, and definitely a great moment. The moment that got me was when he walks through Gorilla and he goes to open up the curtain and it's right on cue with his music where it says, "Let's go." The crowd. That is the loud. Not even when they had Raw in Montreal, I believe it was the next night or 2 weeks later. The Raw, no, it was the Raw. Like not even then, when they had Raw in his hometown, did it get as loud of a pop as it did at that WrestleMania. There were 70,000 loud singing "Let's Go" when that music hit, and that was a like just shivering moment for me, knowing what he was about to go out there and do. He was one of two that was about to accomplish that this weekend. But that moment are what WrestleManias are all about. Period. Like those type of moments are what WrestleManias are all about. So, your
well,
thoughts?
let me just go ahead and just give it, give it the gusto. Okay, that was one of the most brutal matches that night because Gunther was pretty much like slapping the shit out of Sami Zayn, like like the chops, like the
Hmm.
like that. You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, I mean, it was really brutal. And I'm just wondering, like, he just kept picking it up. He just kept picking it up, and Gunther was like, man, like
Hey.
if he dies, he dies. You know what I'm saying? But
Yep.
but he kept coming back. And he's
No,
like, I must break you. Like,
Now let me
on,
get to this.
on some Drago shit.
I want to say this having spoken to a couple of my friends who have been actual wrestlers in the past.
Okay.
Everybody that's been saying that finish, that top buckle brainbuster that Sammy did was a botched move, need to go back and look again. Like Sammy executed that move almost flawlessly. That was nowhere near a botch. He didn't do that by accident. That's a top rope brainbuster suplex that he's done a million times before. So for those of you
Right.
thinking he slipped off the top rope and fucked that move up, no, he didn't. He actually did what he was supposed to do. Um, but um, but in general, like that finish, that the Gunther like jumping from the top rope and just splash after splash while stepping out the ring and looking at Sammy's family and going, this is the man of your family, really? Like that was awesome, awesome.
I
Like
agree.
and I
I
got to
agree.
give Triple H credit. He's handling his ex champs properly. I've always thought, and this is just a side note, real quick. I've always thought it's really, really good for champs, especially after long runs when they lose their title, to disappear from public view for a while.
Yeah.
Like they shouldn't come back the next night on Raw and start asking for their rematch. Give it
Yeah,
time to
because
simmer. Let the new
yeah, because
champ
Sami
settle in.
Zayn, because I haven't seen Sami Zayn,
Yep.
Roman Reigns,
Gunther.
Becky Lynch,
Yep.
Gunter.
Seth
I mean,
Rollins.
who? Yeah, especially
Yep.
Seth Rollins. So, I mean
Uh,
that I
uh,
mean, I figured that was pretty much going to be the surprise when like everything left because you kind of notice it.
yeah. Yeah.
You
Very true.
know, you kind of notice the tribal chief is now.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that after then when we talk a little bit about SmackDown from this last week and the chance that Solo Sikoa was getting. But anyway,
Okay.
but yeah. So like that was just a great climactic moment in WrestleMania Night One. The next match included what I consider to be the entrance of all of WrestleMania, the best entrance of all of WrestleMania. I don't know what the Seth Rollins was wearing, but that's not the intro I'm talking about. But I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know what the Seth
Yeah,
Rollins
yeah,
was wearing on
yeah.
either night, either to start night two or to
Woo.
end night one. I don't know what the fuck he was wearing, but he needs to shoot his fashion guy in the head. Um, it's not drip, it's drop, and that.
Mhm.
But anyway, so this match had the best entrance, and no, I'm not talking about Cody Rhodes because his entrance is sick. No, I'm not talking about Reigns because I'm a bloodline member. I love my tribal chief. But the fucking final boss intro is the best intro I have ever seen in all of wrestling. Period. Not all time. Like sorry, it didn't
Yeah.
top Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania.
Hold
But
that
yeah,
thought. Hold that thought. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my boy from St. Louis, Missouri. This is A Anthem 816. What's good with it, man? Thank you for tapping in to the Cheap Pop Podcast. And we're talking night one of WrestleMania. So continue, please. Continue.
for sure, yeah. Like that intro was just so jam savage, and maybe it's just because like I'm really into the like video game, like leaning into another wrestler that leaned into the video game type stuff was is New Day. I love their intros and TJP. Uh,
Mhm.
TJ Perkins, like he was another one that leaned into the video game aspect of like pro wrestling and leaned, and this just completely did that. And then from the flame Brahma bull on the ground to the final boss logo, like everything about it was savage. But the match itself took it to a whole nother level.
Okay. I'm going to tell you this. Now we know that a couple of days before, Instagram or even TikTok, The Rock uploaded a video game that was a side scroller. He took out Cody Rhodes took out Sola Sokoa. He went in there and he took out Jimmy Uso. And then when he walked to the end,
Uh,
you seen he was standing there, Roman Reigns Paul Heyman, goes my tribal chief, and then all of a sudden, this big ass thing of the Rock, the final boss, and it was like he shot electricity out of his eyes,
Yeah.
and then it says, "Don't fuck with the final boss." When I
Nice.
tell you that, to me was one of the best fucking entrances ever, because it was video game styling. When I
Yep.
seen that, I said, somebody spent a whole lot of money. And then with the flame, and
Oh
then
yeah.
he just walked with that. And I mean,
The
his
People's
swag
Championship.
was so, it was like he bought his belt, but it really didn't matter, because even if he had the WWE belt, like, he just walked down there. He was the coolest motherfucker in the ring. And everybody that was trying to boo him, everybody that was trying to boo him knows damn well that it
Ain't
was good.
with him. Yep.
Yeah, it was, and it was good. And even when Roman Reigns came in, nothing topped the
The
final
final boss.
boss.
Yeah.
He might have just went on ahead and introduced himself last, okay? But you have to give respect
Well, you got
to
to the
the
champs got
undisputed champion.
the
Yeah,
champs always got to go last. The main champ. So the match itself, like I said, was a great match. I love the bloodline rules being that basically Rock and Roman can do whatever they want to do, but Cody and Seth have to follow the rules. Like I love that being bloodline rules, and they definitely gave us a run for their money. I will say this: if you go back and watch the pre-show Cheap Pop podcast, the episode 00, I actually said that I genuinely believed that they would lose night one. If Roman won, if Roman and Rock won night one, that Cody would win night two. But if Seth and Cody won night one, that Roman will win night two. And it just happened to be right that they got the bloodline rules, but it didn't work out in Roman's favor the way they thought it would. But we'll get to that when we get to the end of day two.
yeah, yeah. Because we definitely, because I definitely kind of want to. Well, no. We'll go over, because night two is what I really, to
Yeah,
me, the meat and potatoes of this,
the weekend.
this entire, yeah, the entire weekend. At least to me, from that end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So
100%.
okay,
All right,
okay,
so now let's step into. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. This one. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's do that, and then let's go into night two of WrestleMania, which started off hot with Drew McIntyre beating Seth Rollins, and closed hot with Cody Rhodes getting that victory over Roman Reigns. In between were a few matches that we're going to talk about here that were just fucking amazing, but it was a great bookend to have Damian Priest winning his first World Heavyweight title and Cody Rhodes taking the belt from Roman Reigns. Bookending and opening and closing night two, or day two, of WrestleMania 40 out in Philadelphia. So let's talk about that open. Like, again, storytelling almost at its best with Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. The foreshadowing in Drew's promos of like, dude, you're splitting the candles at both ends. Like, you're wearing yourself out when it comes to like facing me. And then and what's funny is that Drew wins the title off of Seth almost easily, and then turns around and his obsession with CM Punk distracts him so much that he ends up taking a beat down from Punk and dropping the World Heavyweight title to Senor Money in the Bank, Damian Priest, only the second Puerto Rican World Heavyweight Championship in WWF history, Pedro Morales being the first. And yeah, like it's an amazing sight to see. I think Priest deserved it. I think Priest definitely earned his way to this spot by proving that he was worthy of being a main event player, and now he's the WWE World Heavyweight champion, and he's leading Raw into the next generation.
okay. So with me for this match, first of all, I called that shit. I called that the cash in. Oh,
Yeah.
I knew that was gonna
Yeah.
happen. That was definitely gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I'm just really like surprised at how this shit really went in. And it's like, yeah, CM Punk antagonizing, the whole situation. Because I mean, I already figured, first of all, that intro for Seth Rollins, that was a bit much.
Yeah. Yeah. Bit much is the
That was
right
a
word
bit,
for it.
yeah, that was a bit much. I mean, but I don't get me wrong, I loved Drew McIntyre's shit.
Yeah. It shit was
Like
dope.
that shit was like, that was some Highlander, like like some testosterone, like, fuck you, I'm coming to kick your ass. But of course that didn't happen. But then I already knew CM Punk was really fixing to be the major asshole that I knew he was going to be. And that's exactly the role I wanted him to play. But when Damian Priest came in to cash in, boom, 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 get his ass in there, got that was it. It was over.
It was over.
Case
Done.
closed. Yeah, case closed.
Yeah.
Case closed.
So, and so now we have this amazing triangle feud between Damian Priest, which I think will hopefully lead to triple threat match down the road, maybe at SummerSlam between Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest.
I
We'll
agree.
see. We'll see. All right. So after that, I don't know. I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to say this to kick off this thing. I don't like the name The Pride, but that's evidently what they're calling them. But it's Lashley and the Street Profits. I've always thought they should be called Street Business, but that's just me. Defeated the Final Testament, which was Karrion Kross and AOP, by pinfall in a Philadelphia street fight. The match was actually really entertaining, starting from the guest referee, which was Bubba Ray, and just it was just amazing all the way through. You had great moments. I will honestly start off this thing by giving you my favorite moment to in the match, which was the get the tables moment. Um, Bubba Ray, who was it? Bubba Ray slaps Montez, who slaps Angelo, who slaps Bobby, and then they all 1, 2, 3, get the tables. And yeah, like they gave us a lot of great Dudley Boys moments. But
No,
overall, it was just a great like street fight style match that I truly enjoyed, and I was happy with the winner. So
no. But what killed it for me was when the table broke.
yeah,
When
when
the table broke, yeah, when the table broke,
uh
and, and then finally, but somebody was gonna somebody was gonna go through the table.
yeah,
But I didn't expect I did not expect for what you call it to actually get the business.
BFAB.
Yeah,
Yeah, she got in there. She got in there and
yeah,
went head to head with
yeah.
Scarlett there.
Like that like, she got fucked up right here. I was like, I felt bad for her, to be honest, because BFAB, that was like, that's that look.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I take that one. I'll take that.
I'll take that victory all day. I'll
Okay.
definitely take that victory all day. So, all right. So congratulations to the Pride. Hopefully this leads to, because unfortunately, like Bobby Lashley lost his triple threat match to become the number one contender for Cody's title, and the Street Profits lost the number. No, the Street Fight Profits did become the next number one contenders for the new WWE World Tag Team Championships, which are held by Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, otherwise known as A Town Down Under.
Yeah.
So both of them, real talk. Like the Street Profits got in, Bobby Lashley didn't, but I think that they're going to give them. I think we're going to see, if they keep this group together for a while. I think we're going to see the Street Profits win the tag team titles. Bobby Lashley is going to win the WWE title at some point, or potentially the U.S. title, which would be weak. But and then you're going to see BFAB win the women's world championship. I don't necessarily think she deserves it. Again, she still needs a lot of work in ring, but in general, if you got to put a strap on her, it's gonna happen. But we also have the draft coming up, so who knows where everybody's gonna be after
Yeah,
Friday and Monday.
that's ooh, that's gonna be
So the next match that came up was a great match again because both of these men are absolute veterans in the ring. Both of them wrestled for TNA at some point in their careers, and it was nice seeing them go head to head at WrestleMania. And that is the one and only AJ Styles taking on the one and only LA Knight. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the initial battle. Um, and I don't mean that as in like it's their first battle. I mean the initial like the L.A. Never mind. If I gotta explain it to you, we ain't on the same page. Anyway, but Knight took the victory in which was a great back and forth match between Styles and Knight, and definitely is giving us a feud worth watching. Not to say that that every other feud isn't worth watching, but it's given us another feud worth watching. And the way I always describe it is like this: during the Attitude Era, you had the main event, Triple H versus The Rock, but there was always some mid card feud that really had you hooked. Mankind versus Stone Cold, or friggin' like Scott Hall versus somebody. Like there was always some mid Carter feud that this is that not to say that either one of them are mid Carters. They're both main eventers, but this is that feud outside of the main event feud that's watchable. That makes you want to watch it. That makes you want to tune in every week.
Yeah, that to me, I'm gonna tell you, I don't get me wrong, I love the phenomenal AJ Styles, but to me, LA Knight is kind of like he's kind of like future Stone Cold
Yeah.
because he talks more shit than a little bit, and I love like his make care attitude, interrupting the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? When he came in that one time and he interrupted the bloodline, like give zero fucks about you, and just keep, and just keep on, walking in and doing due diligence and doing what he does. So yeah, I love that. I love that fight, and that was a feud like none other. But yeah,
And again,
yeah,
it was a good it was
I
a good
that was a good
wrestling
one.
match.
Yeah, it
Like
was really a good match.
yeah. And so all right. So like I said, we had Styles versus what you call it, and then now we move on to the match that I'm gonna say it like this, and this is for all them chumps out there that like to say this. Oh, but the end of the match ruined it for me. The finish, I didn't like it. Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton was an amazing match, despite the fact that I do not like who won the match. I'm not happy that Logan Paul retained the U.S. title, but that match, that match right there, was fire. That was a three fire banger, right there, straight up.
Okay, I don't like Logan Paul either. Okay, okay, I don't like Logan Paul. I don't like Jake Paul. I don't
Mike
like
Tyson kills his ass.
yeah, like any Paul that matters. Ru Paul, I don't give a damn. Let me put it
Ru
to you
Paul,
this way.
Chris Paul, Jake Paul. I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah. My whole thing is the simple fact that I have to respect a little of his ring skills because number one, he got a beat down. I mean, you're talking about the apex predator. Okay, we're talking about fight Owens fight.
Yep.
Who in the major hell want to get up in the ring and them two motherfuckers is fixing to like, I mean, they just like stomp the shit out of him,
Yep.
with no regard.
One hundred
But
percent.
he managed to outlast him, regardless if it was low brass tactics. But I guarantee you, he's not going to win a straight clean match.
Yeah.
Logan Paul is not going to do that.
No.
That's not going to happen.
He leans into the fact that people hate him in real life, and I got to give him appropriate props on doing so. Like he
Yeah,
definitely leans into the fact that people don't like him in real life, and he plays on that. But
yeah,
it works in his favor. What can I say? What can I say?
Now, but I will tell you this though. His dude that the guy that was dressed in the bottle.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I did
ice.
look. Oh
I show
yeah,
speed.
yeah. Well, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
His
he got.
ass went through the announcers table. So it's like I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
he definitely had a great spot with Randy Orton in there. There were some great just spots in general throughout that match that I really liked.
Yeah.
But all right, so the next match that we're going to talk about before we close out this part of the segment is going to be the one and only Bailey beating Io Sky to complete her damage control story and winning the Women's World Championship. Bailey, for those of you who don't know, is from San Jose. Where both me and Agent K28 are from. Not we're not from San Jose, but we're from the Bay Area. She is from San Jose. She actually used to wrestle for one of our favorite promotions out in the area, All Pro Wrestling. God bless Roland and BTW. God bless Kurt White.
Yes.
Both great men who brought great wrestling to us here, or great wrestling to them down in the Bay. Those two promotions are still doing good, so check them out. Um, but at the end of the day, yeah, like to see her get her WrestleMania moment and win the title on that big stage in front of 70,000 was just amazing, and the match itself was amazing as well. But Bailey, her like, yeah, that was it. That was it. Your thoughts,
Listen,
sir?
you already know hometown girl was I mean, I'm complete bias,
Yeah,
not to say that Io Sky isn't great, because Io Sky is actually fucking wonderful. I mean, I love to see her in the ring, but Bailey, yeah, yeah, that was, and if you noticed, she put the moniker role model
yeah.
back into her Titantron entrance. So I'm looking at that from that instance and saying, "Oh yeah, she's gonna be
Oh
running
yeah.
some matches." I
Oh yeah.
guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, if Jade Cargill goes to SmackDown and stays on SmackDown, they're gonna cross each other's path.
Oh yeah. And I think it'll be tons of fun when they do. Tons of fun. All right, so
Yeah.
now we get to our main event of the evening, which was the finish the story match between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. The champ
Okay.
came in with the bloodline in tow and the rules in his favor, and they gave us an epic match that can only be described as one whole word, and that is wow. Like just wow. Like I tell you 100% that those two gave us a match that we could be proud of, and gave us something that kids are going to be talking about for generations to come.
Okay.
So I'll let you give your thoughts on it first, sir, and then I'll come in behind you.
You know, yeah, yeah, my whole thing, sir, you know, it would have been there only would have been two words for me to describe that match if that had happened.
Yeah,
Okay. That would have been only there only would have been two words to that match. I love the fact that the Undertaker came in. I love the fact that you know, we could have had could have had a little more extra with some sweet chin music. Um, I love the fact that John Cena decided to show up and everything, is good. Cody gets the win, everything else. But to me, if it had happened, there would have only been two words to describe that night closing out. And those two words are the thing that didn't happen. And those two words are stone cold.
I
If
understand.
if he had a showed up for that match, that shit would have went over. That would have been the loudest pop,
I I I agree that
man.
it gets us a big pop. I also believe that it would be nonsensical storytelling as far as the WWE goes. And I
No,
know,
no, no, no,
boo,
no, no. Well,
everybody
no, no,
hates to
no.
hear that, but they
Well,
just
no,
want to
no,
see
no. I
Stone Cold
know.
come out and give a stunner and then go back. But
Yeah, and
it's
then
not
that would have been, but just just for me, because the simple fact is just he would have just been like, yeah,
right. No, no, and,
it,
and I'm not disagreeing with your assessment of if he had showed up. What I'm saying though is what I mean by nonsensical storytelling is this: Undertaker lost to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns claimed this is his yard now. Despite the
Mhm.
fact that the truth of the matter being that the only reason why Undertaker was there is because he was a last minute switch for Stone Cold because Stone Cold was ill. So let's deal with the reality part of it there. Is that yes, it should have been Stone Cold. But storyline wise, Undertaker made a lot more sense because Undertaker's actually had interactions with the bloodline. Like Stone Cold would have just been randomly coming out. And even me and Alpha talked about this. And we talked about the fact that Undertaker is a company man. So you can see it as the Undertaker is the hand of WWE coming in to say, no, Roman's time is done. And that's why he comes in and takes out The Rock. You see what I'm saying? Is that he's the representative of WWE as a whole coming in to say, no, this needs to happen now. And so, as much as I agree that Stone Cold would have gotten a bigger pop, Stone Cold would have gotten the bigger reaction out of the crowd, I think storyline wise, The Undertaker made more sense and The Undertaker fit the bill there. But I will say this. I love the way that they played out that last 15, 20 minutes or so, as in
yeah,
every member of the bloodline had a spoiler. And what I mean by that is if you watch, Jimmy came out, interfered in the match, hit Cody a few times, and then Jay comes out and stops him. And then Jay spears him off the ramp to take him out completely. Then out comes Solo Sikoa. Well, Solo Sikoa's foil is the fact that John Cena comes back out of nowhere after Solo had took him out at SummerSlam. All right, so Cena comes back. So Cena is the perfect spoil for Solo Sikoa. The Rock, I see the Undertaker as his perfect spoiler, but there's a lot of people that see that Stone Cold, based on their rivalry and how big it was, would have been the better spoiler for the Rock. But even the Rock had a spoiler against him, which left it to nobody but Cody and Roman, which allowed Cody to get the win. So you didn't have this team buildup where like Cody went around and collected all these dudes to have his back. Nah, dude, it was
right,
just kind of everybody had their own spoiler. And even The Rock, if you look at it as the final boss, had two spoilers. Because originally, Seth Rollins comes out to try to spoil The Rock. And Roman Reigns hits him with a Superman punch to stop him before Taker comes out and stops The Rock.
right.
So, like, The Rock technically had two foils. And, again, ultimate storytelling at the end of the match. You have Roman so distracted by wanting to get revenge on Seth that he misses his opportunity to lay out Cody and retain the title.
Okay.
So literally, what's
Yeah.
funny is that you opened and closed WrestleMania with two scenarios in which the champion was so distracted by something that had absolutely nothing to do with the championship that it cost them the title. Drew McIntyre was distracted with CM Punk. Roman Reigns was distracted with Seth Rollins. Had he hit
Right.
Cody with the chair, he retains his title. But instead, he decides to hit Seth Rollins, which distracts him enough that Cody gets the upper hand, hits him with the three crossroads, and gets the pin. It's amazing storytelling as far as wrestling goes.
Yeah, and it was a good. It was really a good, a good ending. For the story.
Yeah,
I just want to see what's next, though.
yeah. What's coming up next is what's going to be the big thing. You have Solo now basically forming his own version of his own branch of the bloodline. Let's see how Roman's going to respond to that when he comes back. You got Tama Tonga now, and there's rumor that has it that Jacob Fatu has signed with WWE as well, so he's most likely being inserted in the bloodline storyline, probably alongside Solo. So the word has it that there's going to be a six-man tag between Roman and the Usos taking on Solo, Tamatanga, and Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, the OG bloodline.
Yep, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it all day.
Okay. All right, I'm with that. I'm with that.
But for right now, bro, we're going to stop real quick. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And then and then we will come back and we'll be talking some games and what games we're going to be looking forward to
Yeah.
in the near future to close out this show. And yeah, but thank you for joining us while we talked WrestleMania 40, the amazing show that it was. 142,000 or 145,000 strong went to both nights. I don't care how many tickets were bought by the same people. That's still 145,000 people watching a wrestling event, and that blows my mind. So that's it.
And you bought it.
Yep, I'm Double K Double, aka Dark Lord 100. That's
And
Agent
I am-
K28, aka the Saint. This is the Cheap
No
Pop
doubt.
Podcast, and we'll catch y'all after the break. Peace.
You got to keep it, keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it, keep it. You got to keep it lovely. Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I'm being real with this. Please don't judge me. I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma keep it.
Poetic beat.
This is now versus then. 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 This is now versus then.
You getting on my nerves. You getting on my nerves. Gang, gang, bitch. You getting on my nerves. Gang, gang, bitch. You getting on my nerves. Get your titty, get your titty, get your titty on. Gang, gang, bitch. Get your titty, get your titty, get your titty on. I said what I said. No, please don't tell on me. No, please don't tell the police. Gang, gang, you getting on my nerves. She getting on my nerves.
All right, so as advertised, we're going to kind of change gears here for the moment, and we are going to begin to talk some gaming. So let's go. No, that's not it. Oops, there it is. Let's see. So, what you just witnessed pop up above our heads are the two games that we are going to discuss in talking about upcoming games that are about to come out. For me, it's the EA Sports NCAA College Football 25, and for the Saint, it is Sonic versus or Sonic Time Shadow generation. So I'll let Saint go first with his thoughts on the game
Okay.
on his game that he's looking forward to, and I'll chime in shortly after before we dive into my pick.
Okay. So what it basically is that back in the PS3 or back on the Xbox, actually we're looking at maybe two generations back. There was a game called Sonic Generations where you had the old school Sonic and the new school Sonic. They came together. So, it was a very, successful game. It was pretty decent. I played even now on the Xbox 360, and I also have it on the PlayStation 3. But nevertheless, the new version of this game, this is an updated version, but it's gonna be Shadow this time. It's still going to be pretty much the same way as it is with the Sonic generations, but it's only really adding Shadow this time.
Okay.
And I know it's going to be, it's probably going to be updated. They're probably going to throw some extra, kit caboodle stuff in there. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, it'll get out. It's supposed to come out, I believe, in August, but my thing is that I will forever play anything Sonic except for Sonic Unleashed, and because that was trash, and maybe maybe a couple of the other handheld Sonic games or
Yeah.
stuff like that. But um I love Sonic the Hedgehog since 1990. Um that is the go-to platform, especially it's fast, it's quick, and it's easy. And I'm really just looking forward to bringing Shadow back into the fray, because he hasn't been in any of the games since the last couple of generations, unless it was a side character or what have you. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting this game, and think it's going to be in August. I think
I
it's going to be
wouldn't
in
doubt
August.
it. I wouldn't doubt it. I've yet to really see too many Sonic games that were like no good. Like most of the ones, my favorite one, I'll be honest with you, is of course nothing ever beats the original Sonic the Hedgehog. Like that game ate up hours of my life on the Sega Genesis, like
Yeah,
hours.
that's true.
You know, but
What's good, King Royal?
as far as the ones that came after it, my favorite one was Sonic Pinball. Like that game, I loved it. Like just the way that it used the characters and everything to be able to like Tails, you could actually like boot him up to certain areas and have him fly around for a couple seconds as he floats down to try to avoid like losing the ball and everything. Like it was just a really fun. Um, it was just a really fun. How do you say? Game to play. But in general, I've yet to see. This is why I didn't understand why Sega went under. Like they had such a strong main character, just like Nintendo had with Mario, with Sonic. I never understood why they stopped making consoles and why they ended up going to software only or to games only.
Well, from what I'm understanding, I think that I don't know if it's supposed to be a console, but I know Sega's supposed to be bringing back now. I know they're bringing back a whole bunch of their old school games from the Genesis. I know that they're redoing Shinobi.
Mm.
They're redoing I think it's Toe Jam and Earl. I think, man, I don't know, a couple of them, and I think Columns, but a couple of these old school games, they are getting ready to redo these games, and I'm really looking forward to it, because I love some good old school shit.
Oh
Man,
yeah. I even like I said, I
period.
even like playing some of the well what I have is on the PS4. there's this game that's called Sega Classics.
Yeah.
And it has a
I
little
I
thing where like you walk into your room and your Genesis is set up there, and it has a whole library of games, and like Sonic 1, 2, 3, and I believe Sonic Pinball are all on there. And so I'll get
yeah.
in there and play them. Why? Just because. Like that platform side scroller gaming was fun. Like before we got into all the realistic and the first person shooters and the online play and all that, side scrolling whatchamacallits were the damn bomb.
They're
Like
still the
real talk.
bomb. Like no, yeah, no, 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 no. Like seriously, like right now, I still play I still play a lot of the Metrovania type games because it's discovery. You have to go back. You have to think about how to execute. You know, how to execute your objective. So,
Yeah,
man,
it's
Metroid.
yeah.
That's like straight up like Metroid to me is still one of still a great game. But nevertheless, man, like I said, this Sonic game, it's
It's gonna
it's
be a gem.
actually a remake, but it's adding Shadow the Hedgehog on there. I'm really looking forward to that, and I mean that's just what it is.
Now I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this right now. For the game that I'm looking at, if you don't know the history of this game, go ahead and sit back. I got something to tell you right quick. NCAA football was a game that came out a few years back, long time ago. I think around the time of like early 2000s. Madden had been around for about 8, 9 years, and EA dropped, or no, 9, 10 years, because Madden debuted in '93, right? So like they had been around for like about 10 years. Madden had been around before they introduced NCAA football. And originally, these two, despite both being produced by EA, these two games had absolutely nothing to do with each other. You played the college ball one on the college, and then you played the pro game on Madden. Uh, and as it advanced, they became closer and closer together. And then the last one that came out, NCAA 14, I still have my copy of it for the Xbox 360 from GameFly. They added some modes that just made the game, took the game. Well, first and foremost, a couple years prior to 14, they had started this thing with you could upload your draft classes from NCAA football from each season at the end of the year. The draft classes, you could upload them to Madden and actually have the players be drafted in Madden. This was an amazing feature for people like me that played both games. Like it was like, okay, I can literally create a character his freshman year of college and take him all the way through till he ends his NFL career. And the thought of that just was, yeah. Then NCAA did something that blew my mind because I wondered why they never did it with Madden. They created the coaches mode. For those of you who don't know where the coaches mode arrived from, it was from a game called Head Coach that came out a few years prior.
Yeah,
And
Head
what it,
Coach '09.
yeah, Head Coach '09. When Head Coach came out, Head Coach was a way to play professional football. It was kind of it felt like more like a mini game for Madden than it did an actual game of its own, and it kind of had the same success. But it allowed you to play as just the coach. You could watch the games. You didn't have to play them. You called plays. You were just the coach. And I know a lot of you are like, oh, boring. Not for people like me. Not for people like Saint. Not for people like Suave that played the game. We love this thought process. Then they took head coach away, never made another one, and they never brought it back to Madden. But in NCAA 14, they had a mode called coaches mode, where literally you could
Yes.
recruit kids, you could put them on the field, you can give them plays, you can run them through practices, and you didn't play a single thing other than calling plays and choosing who your offensive and defensive coordinator was and recruiting kids. And to me, it was one of the most badass modes ever. The only issue that I had with it is if you played online in a league and you played head to head with somebody else, you had to actually play the game. You couldn't do coaches mode with head to head matchups, and that sucked. But I'm hoping that in this version now, 11 years later, this game is finally coming back. For those of you who don't know, basically, NCAA EA decided to stop paying the NCAA for the rights to the colleges' names because it was getting too expensive, and so they discontinued doing the college games for the last 11 years. And now we finally have an NCAA college football EA Sport game coming out 11 years later, and I am so over the moon juice for this game. I can't wait to take Cal back to a national title game, a place that I've never seen them go in real life. Uh, and yeah, it makes it happen. So, Saints, your
Okay, and
thoughts on college football
okay,
25?
okay. 10 years, 10 years, ladies and gentlemen, since our last football game. 10 years, even longer with NCAA basketball, but that's neither here nor there. My thing is this: we have been waiting for NCAA college football back into the fray once a fucking again. Okay. I won't even give two shits if Madden comes out this year,
As long as we get NCAA.
college. Okay. Because I can go with dynasties. You know what I'm saying? I can go with dynasties going on. My favorite, my favorite college team, Lord have mercy, is Stanford.
Yep.
Okay. The Cardinal. You know what I'm saying? You guys, you guys may not like trees. I like trees. Okay. I really like trees. But the simple fact, the simple fact is that you're going to be able to play college football again. And I'm just saying, just that, just having that, that gridiron. Don't get me wrong, I love the pros. I'm going to always love professional football,
Yeah.
but it is something about college football, especially where I live, because you know I live in Hartford, so
Yeah.
UConn,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is,
Reigning
is here.
basketball national champions.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And but I mean, football, we can, that's neither here nor there, but it's like I'm just looking forward to, and especially the way Pacific 12 and shit is
Yeah,
integrated
there is no
in with
Pac-12
the, yeah,
anymore.
yeah, yeah, you know what I'm just saying? Like that kind of sucks,
Yeah.
but I think it's because I think we're in the Big Ten now, aren't we?
Stanford, yes, I believe. No, Stanford and Cal were still looking for homes. Let me look that up real quick.
Well, at any rate, though, the simple fact is, I love the fact that there is college football back again, getting on the gridiron, because the last college football for me was BCFX, and that
Oh,
is the Black College Football Experience. I
nice.
currently still play that on my Xbox 360 or my Xbox One. Um, just I love college football.
Cal and Stanford signed to play in the ACC. Yeah, yeah.
Damn.
So ain't
That
gonna be seeing
means
many Stanford away games, but at least you can still go to the home games here and what you call it. Actually, no, you live in the area where you would probably see them. The ACC is Connecticut, and I believe it's that area up
and
there.
you know what? And I'm gonna tell you this much. Just look, folks, just send me some Stanford gear out
Okay,
here,
for sure.
and we'll get
We'll
it, we'll
work
get
out
it
the rest.
cracking. Oh yeah, absolute.
All right,
Fuck.
y'all. So that's kind of going to close out our last subjects there. Um, Real quick, I will say this: for those of you that joined us, thank you. Definitely, like Saint said earlier, or Agent K28 said earlier, drop into the chat room. We want to talk to you too.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
more
yeah.
so
Like
than just hearing our opinions. But
yeah.
I,
Yeah,
this,
well, let me just say this, and I know that a lot of the people, that tune in to some of the other shows or what have you, um, when it comes to this particular show, this particular podcast, we are going to we want to interact with you. We want to be
yeah,
able to ask these questions because it's like this. Like, I'm an older gamer.
yeah,
Okay. I've been gaming since, I don't know, like 1980. Okay. Atari 2600. And then I got into, computers and so forth, and I learned how to code games. And I've been gaming ever since then. And I keep up with the technology.
Yeah,
You
same
know
here.
what I'm saying? I keep up with all of this shit. And the simple fact is that if you don't know about if you don't learn about it, you won't know about it.
Right.
If you don't take the time to learn, because I believe, especially like I'll be the double nickel in a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I love my gaming. I love the way that technology works. I mean, it's not always great with technology, but I know enough
You know enough.
to get
Yeah.
by. Yeah, and I know enough to get by. I mean, shit, we do this. We do these podcasts and shit like that. And that requires a lot of technology. So
Very, very true,
it
sir.
is, yeah, it is what it is.
Yep. And we will continue this. So just to give you a quick rundown before we close out of the lineup coming up next. I don't think it's immediately after the show, but coming up soon after the show will be another episode, amazing episode with that guy over there of
Okay.
MVT now versus then MVT Deuce.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We're gonna be we're really gonna be like we're going to be doing a little bit of different. Like I said, we're trying to gear towards more of the independence, not to say that, you still have the popular ones out there,
yeah,
because I mean, the veterans, the old school veterans are out there. They're still rocking with us.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But we want some of the new blood that's in there. Some of these other artists that you might have skipped.
yeah.
So coming up at 8 o'clock Eastern is going to be NVT Deuce. We're going to have some good music, and
What time did you say that
it's
one
going
more
to
time?
be good. 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be probably
5
around
Pacific.
7. Yeah, 7:45. Pretty much like a 7:45 warm up, because we want to get started. We definitely want to get started with that. So yeah,
All
it's
right.
gonna be
Should
it's
be
gonna
really
be
good.
fun. Yeah,
All
but
right.
we want to let you guys know about the show that comes on after me, and we're talking about the classroom. And
Yes, sir.
yeah,
It'll be
yes,
me and the one and only O'Malley tonight. Tonight you'll be getting an opinion piece from me. You'll be getting a nice little rant from me called Double K's Classroom, and me and O'Malley will be discussing the play-in games for the Warriors and for the Lakers, and we'll also be discussing the NCAA transfer portal and whether or not it's been good or bad for the NCAA. But that's going to be from 7. It'll be 10 o'clock Eastern time, or 10:15 Eastern time, till about 11, or till about 11:15, 11:30 Eastern time, and then we will have our first video game stream of the day, which will be me coming back with a little FC 24 and some NHL hockey 24. So guys, you get it all here. You get the
okay,
podcast, you get the music shows, you get the gaming streams. So keep tuning in and keep checking us out. I am Dark Lord 100, aka Double KK Double. That guy to my left is the Saint.
Agent K28, known, or actually known as the Saint.
Yep. And this Cheap Pop podcast, hopefully, we'll be back next week with our third and maybe our fourth dude making a drop by. We'll see, but be sure to check us out next week, 3 p.m. Pacific, or sorry, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, right here on First GenXers Twitch TV. And we out.
And
Peace.
we're out. Peace.